Alright guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man j.williams. So here's my full review of the OnePlus 5. You're probably thinking, Jay, it's almost been a month since you had that. You're right. Been using it, wanted to give it a different approach. Wanted to give you some videos along the way, let you know how the progress has been with this device. So this full review will probably be less than 5 minutes or so, but it's direct and to the point. So what do I like about this phone? Wow, there is so much to like about this phone. It's unbelievable. The phone itself is a phone that if you don't have it, you might wonder why people like it so much. You might just think it's because of the 8 gigs of RAM and all that right there, but it's more than that. You know, the phone is a device that I think OEMs should actually mimic when trying to make their devices. Now, the OnePlus 5 is by far probably one of the higher spec phones that I have. The only thing it lacks is a Quad HD display. It has a headphone jack, which is impressive to say the least nowadays. It doesn't have a dual speaker setup, but it in fact does have a great speaker on the bottom. I'm actually kind of surprised at how loud this speaker actually is. You've got dash charging, you got the option of 6 gigs or 8 gigs, and that's DDR4X. And you've got a Snapdragon 835. You've got dual cameras back here. So there's just a whole bunch about this phone that I actually like. And I think you probably have the world's fastest fingerprint reader. You've got to have the world's fastest fingerprint reader. This hardware is actually pretty decent. I make jokes about it saying, oh, it looks like an iPhone. I did all those things at the beginning when I didn't have the device. And it doesn't really resemble an iPhone like what you think once you get it in person. When you see those photos with people showing it side by side, well, I have an iPhone 7 Plus and I put it next to it and they don't really look anything alike. It's just the overall design and coloring, you know, with the bands and the dual camera. But that's going to change shortly with the iPhone 8 or whatever it's going to be called. The battery life on this device has been really good. I'm able to pull down at least 6 hours of screen on time and make it through a full 24 hours, which is really good. The fact that it has a very fast fingerprint reader is impressive because that's the way I like to unlock my phone. I was with the S8 before, and the S8 had me spoiled with the iris scanner because their fingerprint reader was not in a good place and it was very difficult for me to use. This fingerprint reader right here is superb. This has probably got to be the fastest fingerprint reader that I have, and that's no joke. Going back to the battery, it's 3,300 milliamps in here, and it's definitely doable. You know, it's something that that I think all phones, you know, should get at least 6 hours of screen on time if it's the so-called flagship. Now, video recording and photos on here is absolutely fantastic. Now, this may not be the best front camera, but it's actually really solid. And audio on this thing is ridiculous when recording. So I'm just kind of holding this with my hands. So if you get a little shaky and wobbly cam, it's just because I'm just holding it in my hand to do this quick video. Now here is the rear camera, and again, quality on this rear camera is much better than the front camera, but the audio again is superior. I didn't know that OnePlus had 3 microphones with noise cancellation on this device, so superior to a lot of other phones out there. Love it or hate it. If you don't like it, it's too bad. Cameras and audio on this thing is definitely doable. The rear camera shines better than the front camera. The rear camera is equally matched with the iPhone 7, if not better. Equally matched with the HTC U11, if not better in some areas. Overall, I think the U11 is a better complete camera because the front camera on this phone, while it's not top-notch, it is doable. But phones like the U11 and the Ultra have fantastic front cameras, and also the Sony line has just superior front cameras to everyone. One place where this phone actually shines, and I was kind of surprised, is the video recording. Wow, this thing has, when it records video, it has, and I found out something, it has 3 microphones with noise cancellation. That is why video on this phone is really good for audio. With the audio is superb compared to other phones, and that is the main reason why this phone has the video on here is like really loud, and I didn't know that when I first picked up this phone. I didn't do any research on it. The fact that it has an alert slider, I think that's something all Android phones should pick up. It does have an HD DAC in here, I believe. I think it has some kind of special DAC in here because when you pair it with the headphones from OnePlus, it is fantastic. Now this phone runs a stock version of Android, but it's still customized. This is Oxygen OS running 7.1.1. Updates will come on this phone, probably faster than other phones. OnePlus is good with their updates. I've gotten several updates since I had this, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. So check all the boxes except for a Quad HD display and dual speaker setup and waterproofing and wireless charging. All those things are not a requirement for me, but in fact, they are a requirement for several other people. And, you know, I think OnePlus has checked a lot of boxes, and I think they've done very well with putting together this device. I trash talk a lot of phones before I get them, but actually eventually do get them, and then that's the best way to find out if you're going to like it or not. Still have my official OnePlus tempered glass on here, and all these cases and everything are all OnePlus. So I will see you guys in the next video. I just want to give you a quick full review. This comes in Midnight Black, which is the 128 gig, 8 gig model that I have here. It also comes in Slate Gray, which is 6 gig and 64 gigs onboard storage. Adreno 540 is in here again with Snapdragon 835. I think this is a winner. Every other OnePlus device that I've reviewed, I pretty much almost gave it a 10, you know, so this is a winner. You know, it's a great phone. And did I tell you that dash charging is on point? This is the fastest charging phone I ever have. Fastest fingerprint reader, fastest charging phone I've ever owned. So, fantastic phone. I highly recommend it. If you don't have a OnePlus 5, hit Swappa or hit OnePlus directly. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.